Welcome to the Vinyl Files, everybody. Oh, we're going on a quick detour before we get to the subject today. In the old US of A, we have not one but two Disney theme parks, and I have never really been much of a Disney guy. I watched Atlantis and Cars and Toy Story when I was a little kid, but as I got older, I just kind of fell away from Disney. It's just not my bag. It's a place where kids can be kids. It's a place where adults can be kids. You can move into a Disney neighborhood if you need to. You know, some people take Disney so seriously that they make it an entire lifestyle. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of one thing that I love that I've made it a crucial part of my identity. I'm just kidding. Do what you gotta do. We all gotta survive somehow. Who cares if you love Disney? However, if there were a Studio Ghibli theme park, I would have the yearly pass. I would go every Thursday. I wouldn't have any chairs or couches in my home. It would just be big Totoros that we would lounge upon. And I found Studio Ghibli when I was a kid, when either my mom or grandma brought a VHS of Kiki's Delivery Service, and I almost wore that dang tape out. Flash forward to the beginning of lockdown, I was in Target and I saw Castle in the Sky and I think My Neighbor Totoro, and I just bought them on a whim because it was something different, and I then very quickly went back and bought all the other ones that I could find because I just fell in love with Hayao Miyazaki's world. This in turn made me dive much deeper into anime, and it is now one of my very favorite things to indulge in. So you can imagine my excitement when two of my favorite things were packaged into one product. Today we're taking a look at Studio Ghibli 5 7-inch box set. Before we get started on that, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. What's your favorite Studio Ghibli film? And don't forget to leave a like on the video. Now, to unbox this, I'm gonna bring in my favorite person.
And if you're watching this the day it comes out, we're getting married tomorrow.
I'm gonna be a Mrs. Gratke. So how did you find Studio Ghibli? Is it Ghibli? I'm sorry, is it Ghibli?
Ghibli or Ghibli? I've heard it multiple ways.
Ghibli?
Ghibli. I mean, there are some people that if you say it a certain way, they're going to go out of their way to say, but it's actually this.
Sure.
I don't think it really matters as long as we're sitting here talking about an art form and we truly enjoy the art form. I think that should be enough. I think at that point you should just be the person who goes, oh cool, we like the same thing. So the first time I've ever watched a studio, I always used to say Ghibli.
Okay.
It's a Studio Ghibli movie. I was at daycare at my grandmother's house. I don't know if this was Nickelodeon or Disney or one of the other Cartoon Network specials where they actually had a movie playing.
Okay.
But it was Spirited Away. And of course I started watching it 15 minutes in, so I had no idea what it was called. And I watched it, and it was one of those films that stuck with me for a really long time.
Sure.
And I remember watching it and getting really impacted by it, but not knowing what it was called at all. So I had no idea to be like, I like this movie. I have no idea what its title is. And I didn't figure out what it was until I was actually in high school.
I remember that happening to me with Castle in the Sky because I got a copy of Kiki's Delivery Service and there was a trailer for Castle in the Sky on there. I couldn't figure out what it was until way later, and I saw a trailer for it again. I'm like, oh, that's Castle in the Sky. And then I bought it, and then I finally saw it again.
Spirited Away was my only Studio Ghibli film that I'd ever watched. And then, of course, in Disney Channel, Ponyo happened because it has Frankie Jonas and Noah Cyrus as children were the voice actors, so it was all over Disney. And that's when Disney kind of became a big part of Studio Ghibli. And so that was the second one I saw. And it wasn't until I was actually in college that I was talking about this film, and my friend said, hey, I have a couple of these films. Shout out to Neville. He had Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind and Princess Mononoke. And he allowed me to take those over a weekend, and I watched them, and I was like, okay, I need this in my life. So I bought the full box set, the film set, and because I am a nice person and I've done this always, I've always borrowed out my books, I've always borrowed out my movies, I borrowed them out to a coworker and I never got them back.
I was gonna say, why don't we have that? Because I know we have a lot of the Blu-rays, individually, but I didn't. Okay, well that makes sense. Whoever you are, we want them back.
She took them, had a weekend, and then she left left. I tried to get them back, and they swore up and down that they had put them in my work locker. And so if you did actually put them in my work locker and someone else then stole them...
I smell a liar.
No, I don't think so.
Then before we started dating, do you remember the time that I wanted to watch a Studio Ghibli movie, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch Grave of the Fireflies, and you tried to warn me, and I didn't listen, and then I called you very upset after.
It's a great film.
It's beautiful, but it's just, like, heavy.
It's heavy.
It's so heavy. That one is so heavy.
But if you think about, like, Studio Ghibli films as its own genre, they are extremely heavy.
They can be.
You just kind of get caught up in the whimsicalness of it.
Yeah.
And Grave of the Fireflies is very much non-whimsical.
Yeah, well, because it's a period piece, and it's a very real period piece. Everything else, like what Hayao Miyazaki does with his whimsical world and all of that, it's really beautiful, and you can, like, stick really heavy stuff in there. With this one, it's just like, hey, World War II sucked for everybody, but especially for the civilians in Japan, and so here's what it was like, and then everybody dies, and then you're sad.
I mean, it's not my favorite movie. My favorite movie is probably I have a couple ties, but Howl's Moving Castle has a special place in my heart. I just find it beautiful, and I think Studio Ghibli in our relationship has been one of those things that has very much solidified it. It was one of those first things that we bonded over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even to the point where our wedding was supposed to have a little bit of a deeper Studio Ghibli theme, like
yeah, with the suit sprites and everything on the lanterns and stuff.
On the lanterns, and actually our first dance was originally going to be Merry-Go-Round of Life from Howl's Moving Castle. We love it.
It's important. It decorates an entire wall of our home. My favorite would have to be Castle in the Sky. I love that movie so much, mostly because of the music, which is why I love this box set so much, but it's also just a great movie.
So let's get into that box set.
Okay.
Gee, yeah!
So this box set contains themes from Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, Castle in the Sky, as well as 2 discs of My Neighbor Totoro. Notice how they skipped Grave of the Fireflies, which was right around that time. And a lot of the music contained within this box set was composed by Joe Hayao. So if you have a favorite Studio Ghibli theme, or you study or relax to lo-fi Studio Ghibli beats, you have this man to thank.
It's like our 2 brain cells are rubbing together.
Let's take a look at the packaging here. Up front, we have Totoro with another little guy on top of his head there.
You will notice that it is the Studio Ghibli theme. This is their logo. They've been using Totoro as their logo, and especially like this image.
Oh my god, I never noticed that. They do, don't they?
That is it.
Okay.
That you'll look at every box, and at on the back of every movie, like the Studio Ghibli, and then it will have this exact image.
Interesting.
Also, there are some cute little sprites on the side.
On the side, and then right there, and then there's another one hidden down there.
A good smattering of sprites.
A smattering of sprites. And then on the back, you kind of get a preview of everything that's contained within here. So Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky, Totoro, and then the bonus disc.
I also like the coloring that they chose.
It's beautiful. And then opening it up here. So first and foremost, we have a Studio Ghibli 45 adapter.
Well, isn't that cute? It's got a, I'm not gonna lie. The My Neighbor Totoro, I've watched it, but I was doing something while I was watching it, so I only 50% paid attention, so I really don't know a lot. Also, I like to watch it in the original Japanese, so which I do not speak, which is probably worse. So I was busy listening to a movie in a language I don't understand. So
you know there's girls, a cat bus, and a bear thing.
That's about as much as I know. So I don't know what this little creature is called. So if you do, like, just let us know. We'll probably watch it again after our wedding.
Yep.
But there's that little cute guy. First off the top is the Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. Love the art.
It's beautiful.
So pretty, and it is the original art from the movie. I love that it's got all of the original. They didn't whitewash it, so it is the original Japanese writing on it. So
well, this is from Japan. Like, this is a Japanese pressing.
Well, would have been nice to know before.
Yes, it
like
is. You're welcome. And then also inside here, so it folds out, and that's the original singer. So she did like the pop song surrounding this.
Oh my gosh, that's
But
so cool.
then there's also like what I assume are lyrics, and then like some other artwork. There's the vinyl there.
It's just a nice little two-tone sticker.
Yeah, I also really love that these are 45s. It kind of makes me think it'd be really fun to put together like a really eccentric jukebox someday.
Oh.
And just have like this, and then my Discord box set, and then whatever else I find. But yeah, I love that.
I've got James's favorite, Castle in the Sky. This was a really interesting, it's very different artwork from Nausicaa. Nausicaa is much more of that watercolored, whereas this is the fully saturated coloring. So
again, with the album artwork, but then there's the inner stuff. There's the lady that sang it. She's also on the back there. Two-tone. It's lovely.
And then these two are the doubles from My Neighbor Totoro. You've got the original meeting Totoro scene, as well as the cat bus.
Cat bus.
Cat bus.
Cat bus.
Whoever was like, yeah, they're gonna have a cat bus.
Wait, so it's gonna be a bus made like a cat? No, it is a cat. You'll ride inside of the cat. What do you think of that? You're fired for rhyming, sir.
Oh, she's really cute.
I wonder why they decided to go with the same color on this one. But
as
for the label, yeah. And cat bus.
Cat bus.
Cat bus.
Oh, and I like how they have.
Oh, hey.
They actually have
That's
it
cool.
written down, so you can play it on piano or.
Oh, and they have the chords written above too, so you could do it like sing-songy style with kids.
Oh, that's cute.
And then.
Too bad we don't have kids.
But an abundance of guitars, though.
Huh. If only we had more of those.
I love them.
Okay, so this is the bonus disc. I have no idea what's on it.
So I know that it has an instrumental of the Totoro theme. Other than that, I don't actually know.
Well, it's like a Christmas slide, so I'm assuming that this was originally released for the holidays.
It might have been.
Because it's so cute.
And then this record is actually clear. It was a mystery color because it was either going to be clear or blue. I'm actually really happy that we got the clear because I like the clear.
I think clear is good.
That is super fun.
Well, that's Studio Ghibli in a box. Ghibli Ghibli. No matter what you call it, just get it.
It's get it.
It's get it.
It's get it. This is just a really cool collector's package. I know that like if they do this with the other movies, if they had like a Howl's Moving Castle and Princess Mononoke Spirited Away as well as Ponyo box set, I would be all over that. I would be so excited. It's just like a cool package, and I'm really glad that this exists as a music lover, but as well as a Studio Ghibli fan and a record collector. Like, it's just something really cool.
I think it's a great way to meld the two because it's Studio Ghibli is an art form, and it's people who appreciate the art styles, and the music is such a big part of that. Like throughout these entire like movies, there's very, very sparsely like minutes of silence, and when there is, it is so intentional and it's so impactful. Otherwise, that music just kind of moves you through the story, and it's so emotional.
Well, Spirited Away is really long, and it doesn't seem long. These are one of those few movies, like the original Star Wars trilogies, that like I've seen them now so many times, but every time I watch them, I notice certain things that I didn't notice before, and it feels fresh every time. And I think a big part of that is because of the music.
I feel like there are a lot of like the screenwrites that try to portray the emotion through the actors, but this is actually one of those animations that they push you through your emotions musically.
That's so well put. Yep, you are right. Would you like to do the outro?
Oh my gosh. Did you already say that you should hit our subscribe button and click the bell and give it a like and share it to your friend because, hey, if you know anyone who loves these films, send it to them and also ask, is it Ghibli or is it Ghibli? Who is it? And I guess that's about it. Also, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week after we're married.
Yeah. And remember, until the table stops spinning, just keep grinning.
Guava cookie so good.